What's up, guys? Welcome back to My+One with Vinny Fastline
and Tony Sarando.
Oh yeah, and today's guest, we got a very interesting guest today. New York City's former dirtiest cop, Michael Dowd. Everybody, I don't know if we're supposed to cheer for you, you piece of shit. And his
Fuck it, I'll cheer. I don't care.
Nah, he's a changed man.
My
He's
Netflix special.
He's a changed man. And his son Tom is here joining us today. What's up, Tom? Thanks for coming.
On, guys?
Thanks for coming in, buddy. Is this your first podcast?
Yeah, it is.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah.
You nervous?
No, I'm all right. I can usually handle a conversation.
Dude, you're a New York guy, dude.
Yeah,
You're not fucking nervous about shit.
Yeah, I am his offspring, even though I don't barely know him.
Yeah. Oh my God. Here we go.
Here we go.
Damn.
Low-hanging fruit.
Good thing you don't know me.
Shit.
Low-hanging fruit.
Oh, this is what it's
So
going
I'm
to
not
be.
responsible for anything he does.
Michael, all right, first of all, you've done a lot of shit already. You've talked a lot about this. You've done Rogan's podcast, Bert Kreischer's podcast, right? Yeah. They've made a documentary about you called The 7-5. Mm-hmm. And they're, possibly making a movie about you. I saw a picture with Austin Butler.
Yeah.
That they're going to make a movie
like
about.
Hollywood, it's been in the works now for 9 years.
Yeah.
So it's on a fast track.
Yeah. That's fast, actually.
9 years. Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
But, your story is insane.
Well, right now it's with Ben Stiller. He's supposed to be involved, and MGM/Prime, because I think Prime owned.
Yeah,
Prime
Amazon
MGM.
acquired them.
Yeah. And then we were actually talking to some other things too.
Wow.
So I don't want to say it on here because someone might think I'm promoting something the wrong way.
Dude, so you come out of prison and get more work than most people. I mean, you got more work than me. I didn't even go to jail, motherfucker.
You know, in Hollywood, who's writing the first fucking check? That's what we're talking about right now.
Yeah, fuck. So your story's insane for a lot of people that don't know about it. Go ahead, just fill us in.
No.
Tell us.
There's nothing to say.
I'm gonna make Tom tell it if you don't. It's gonna be a long story.
He don't remember it. The other one laying around might know a little more. Actually, the reality is, I was a cop in Brooklyn. I started out as a 21-year-old kid, and I was exposed to things at a very young age. And you can make all the excuses in the world, but the temptations of the street sucked me in, and I ended up. So I was an underachiever, right? Because being a police officer is a great career, and it's admirable, but really you're not going to get that level of achievement that you were raised to achieve. And so I saw opportunities to achieve things that were not legitimate, but I still went about it trying to achieve the things. I wanted to be a mogul and a real estate empire owner, like the ex-president. And he was everybody's idol in the 80s,
Yeah.
So I wanted to be more like that. Everybody my age aspired to be be that way, and so I couldn't do it on a cop's salary.
Right.
So I figured I could just anything in the street was mine.
What were those things?
Because it was in the street. It wasn't like I didn't go to guys' houses in Beverly Hills, knock on the door, and take all their gold.
Right.
I took it out of the street.
So you work with the gangs and the mafia, or what?
A little bit of all of them. Yeah.
Okay.
I worked with. We don't talk about the mob that much, but I worked with them as well.
Oh, you don't talk about it because you're scared?
Fuck them. I really don't care. I really don't give a shit, to be honest with you.
Oh,
I had three wise guys on the phone on the way here, so it doesn't really.
Wow, fuck. So back then, what was it? There was you worked with the Diaz cartel, right? But there was the 5 families as well, and then there was other gangs.
Yeah, there's lots of gangs. Yeah, but I don't care about the gangs. I was my own gang.
Wow,
we were our own gang. Still are.
Still is.
Anyways.
Was it? Was there other cops involved?
What are you,
no. I'm just I'm just trying to, listen, first of all, I'm not going to tell my story, but I grew up around it myself. My family knew.
You're not going to tell you, that's a different story. Yeah, yours is better.
Mine is not. And I understand where the kids come from, because the thing about people, normal people, civilians that watch mafia movies, gang movies, they just fucking.
He studied.
Yeah.
Just regular humans.
Human beings. Other people that aren't civilians, non-civilians are not human. Civilians are human.
Samaritans. Good Samaritans. They'll watch mafia movies, gang movies. Yeah. They glorify it. It's glorified. Yeah. Like this. It's
all scum.
People love crime.
Life.
People they love crime. Yeah. But as growing up, like as a kid, and probably dealing with your dad, going to jail for how many years was it?
Is Kim.
12 and a half.
Wow, he knows to the fucking
Yeah.
Who's
date.
counting? Who's counting?
I mean, it wasn't cool, right?
No, well, the craziest part about it for me was that I didn't know the guy. He went to prison, and I ended up so much like him.
Wow.
Took all from mannerisms to mentality to just the way I viewed an opportunity. I'm still blown away to this day. We have the same walk. We both walk like doofs, and I didn't.
Speak for yourself, motherfucker.
He has a doofier walk, but
I don't know. The women like it, so I don't give a fuck how doofy it is.
Wow. Well, how old were you when you went to jail?
2.
You were 2?
2, yeah, 2 or 3, yeah.
11 months.
Yeah.
You don't remember.
Yeah, I don't.
Damn.
Yeah.
11 months, and the first thing he said to me was jailbird.
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 He called me jailbird.
Wow.
Do you still call him Jailbird?
Yeah.
Or do you?
When he's pissed. When he's
Yeah.
pissed, he calls me jailbird.
Did you eventually, once you got out, did you make that bond? Did you finally
Yeah, I was
get
gonna
to
say,
feel
well,
like
Tried to right away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what was it like with your dad that you didn't, I guess, really know coming out of jail at you're 12 at the point then when he came back out?
It was like
Or
13 and a half.
13?
Yeah, 14 when we tried. And
Yeah.
I remember the one of the first times he was able to pick me and my older brother up. We had another male figure in our life at the time, and I was telling my older brother, I was like, no matter what I do, I can't call this guy Steve, the guy's name was, like, no matter what, because this other male figure was in my life for 4 or 5 years at the point. So I remember Dad drops us off, and in my head the whole time I'm saying, "Don't call him Steve. Don't call him Steve. Don't call him Steve." And as I'm getting out of the car, I go, "Bye, love you, Steve."
I remember that too. I was like, fuck.
And he goes, "Love you too." Puts on, Steve is this like fat Irish guy, so he
Wow.
puts on that. Yeah, but yeah, so it was hard. I'm just like, I'm at this point now. I'm 14. I'm trying to create a trauma bond, if you will, not just the trauma I went through.
You're so well healed right now. Trauma bond.
I'm trying. Well, no, I mean, that's it,
You're up with the
You did a
times.
lot of therapy to use that term.
Yeah, I sure did.
Trauma bond.
Yeah.
That's the first time I've ever heard of it. And I've been in a lot of therapy.
I mean,
trauma.
it is. I mean,
Holy shit.
you created the trauma bond, and then he comes
You
out.
weren't around for the trauma bond.
trauma bond?
Well, whatever.
I like that.
I continued the trauma bond.
That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
He didn't disappoint.
He goes, "Motherfucker, I had to teach myself how to shave. I'll call whatever I want."
Yeah, exactly.
Trauma bond, trauma fucking.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the story that I remember. Because first of all, these guys don't have the memory that I have. Because I'm much more.
Pull your mic in
I
a
have
little
much
bit.
more
Pull your mic
clarity.
in a little more.
You need me to really speak into a mic around here?
Yes,
Okay.
even though you're shouting at me.
I am the oldest
sure it's
man.
picking it up just
If you
fine.
add up 3 years, I'm older than 3 years, oh, for Christ's sakes. But I remember the conversation, and I dreaded this, but I had to do it, because I was just beginning to have a life again, right? So I was away for a long time. I've come home in my 44 years old, I think I was. And I went, my first week out, my other son, who's not here with us right now, it was his graduation day. He was graduating high school the day, I was out 3 days, okay? And his graduation ceremony, I had to get permission to go. It was a big fucking fuck job, but I got it. And it was very awkward. And so I met him at his graduation. He knew me well enough. Tom had no idea who I was. In fact, I don't even know if Tom was there at the moment. I don't remember. But eventually the other one's running around graduation day. And then I decide at some point, I need to get together with the two of them and have a conversation. And it's a hard conversation now. Don't forget, I know I fucked their lives up and their mother's life up, my ex-wife. And but it's a selfish moment. Think about it. I now am arriving. I'm like a newborn. I'm coming back into the world and I have to begin a life for myself. They're living. However they're living, they're doing better than me because I have nothing. So I have to have this difficult conversation with these two young, one was in his, 18, the other one's at 13 and a half, whatever he was at the time. When he was in the car, when he got out and said Steve, he called me Steve. I was like, good. So I had to tell them that some of the most difficult words in the world is, I can't help you. Not now.
Yeah.
But you can call me and ask me anything. And that's a difficult thing to tell your kids. Because I had to begin to get on my feet myself first, which is part of what recovery is, right?
I made him pay for those words. He ended up helping me in my 20s.
30s. But God bless, yes. So yeah. So, but it's a touching moment because you have to realize the damage you did to yourself and to your family. So it's a difficult thing to deal with,
Yeah. I mean, no, I understand that. Look, everybody that brings you on the podcasts, they all talk about the same shit. They're talking about what you fucking do, how to go down, right. What was prison like? Are you a changed man? Which we'll ask all those questions.
I'm still a fucking asshole. Don't get me wrong. I'm still a complete asshole, but I like to have fun. I'm not here to waste my time on earth anymore.
Yeah.
I wasted a lot of it between my teens and the time I came home at 40-something years old. A lot of waste took place.
Well, I think
and damage.
The most interesting thing for me is like this, because this is the side that people are not going to see where they're going to go, how do you salvage this? How do you come out of it and go, how do you feel like shit? How am I ever going to make this up to my kids?
Partly. But like I said, it's a very selfish time in the beginning. And then as they start to become men, it's rewarding. And then you're really not part of it, right? Because you really didn't have much to do with it. So, fortunately for me, I was able to be somewhat helpful to them as they went along. But I'm going to tell you something. And these are my words to them. And I keep forgetting to say them. I said, I'm not your dad. I'm your father. And hopefully I'll be your dad one day.
Yeah, you did say that.
Yeah. So that's one of the things that you have to grasp. And it's, so yeah, I get sidetracked in this whole process because it's very emotional. It brings me back into those moments and your helplessness. Like the other night, I was crying in bed. For this asshole over here.
For him?
Yeah.
And what where did it come from? I mean, it's going to be, PTSD. I wasn't there for where did it come from? Where was
guilt.
Yeah.
And pride in some ways.
Yeah.
Because we've overcome a lot of things.
Fuck. I mean, look, there'd be a problem if you weren't crying. I mean, there's people out there that have done wrong and don't feel remorse. So I feel like, the fact that
I didn't come here to fucking cry, okay?
Dude, no.
Did all that.
No, it's a comedy podcast, so I appreciate you coming on. Dude. We got a criminal fucking breaking down. This is fucking great, dude.
Hold on. I don't think I've ever cried in the podcast.
Yeah. I didn't know that he ever cried for me.
Yeah.
This is what we want. I mean, look,
I don't tell them every couple of weeks I'm crying.
How do you think you're going to look to viewers if you come in here and go, I did all this fucking shit. I was a dirty cop.
I left my kids. I shook down the mob.
Shook down the mob, and then I left my kids. I'm doing fine.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to hear that.
I ran books in prison. Yeah, I know.
Nobody wants to hear that. This is what they want to see. The fact is like, that's what I'm saying is, I understand that side of it without talking about my family side, but I get that side because it is the crime and the gang, all the gangs and all that shit. It's cool to people that are so distant from it,
right?
But then they forget what happens at home. Like they don't understand what the reality of it is. And, he didn't have a dad for years and now he's trying to, make that relationship with you and fucking work through this trauma bond.
Yeah.
And
I'm telling him, you don't have a dad. Not yet.
Yeah.
Do you tell him now?
Yeah, fuck him. We did good. We do good now. We're doing good now.
Was there a moment that you guys felt like, all right,
I don't know the exact moment for me, but I think it comes.
It was a collective of moments, really. It just, when I was going through my troubles, he was there for me, and, looking back on it now, he was there for me, and, as much as I wanted to scapegoat him, use him, blame him for any of the crazy stuff I did or went through, I'm behind on a month's rent, and he shows up and pays my landlord, because he couldn't give me the money to give to her. But you know what I'm saying? So like, it's a reflection of things to where I came around.
Still wouldn't give it to you. You're doing good.
It's a reflection, really. And then it allows me to act a certain way to receive him as a dad and as a father.
Tom, what are you doing now for work?
I own a general contracting business, construction, residential.
You're Italian, yeah?
No, I mean
his father's Irish.
Yeah,
How the fuck if he's Italian, we gotta go.
Yeah. I don't know. He's got
a quarter.
Yeah,
he's got a quarter.
I'm Irish.
He's got a quarter.
Yeah, a little. Yeah.
So
yeah, I do residential contracting. I just got into the stock market, and I want to touch into this world slightly.
Wow.
Yeah. Or dude, full on, yeah.
You're doing it.
Yeah, I'm trying. Yeah.
You're on a podcast right now. Dude.
Yeah. We're trying to make one ourselves. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So when you say you followed
to compete directly with you, it'll be a very comedical.
Oh yeah?
We'll have you on the show.
Yeah, get fucking people crying on your podcast.
Now you can tell your story.
By the way, you're not the first person to cry on the podcast. We had some people tear up too. Yeah. These are the moments, man. This is why we do. You get people.
We had tearing up moments, but not full on tears.
No, not full on baby.
So you had the trophy.
Baby bitch crying.
So far I'm ahead. Once again, the dirtiest cop, the biggest crier, what else?
Yeah.
Biggest loser for certain to some.
Oh man. No, I like the remorse, but I was just curious because Tom, now you're working a regular job. Now you're working with your dad here on this kind of stuff. But when you said you followed in his footsteps, did you find yourself in trouble?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. What kind of trouble were you doing?
Everything. Robbing, selling drugs, doing drugs. It was all based on. I dropped out of college. Went to Stony Brook University on Long Island. Applied late, got in. I was good in school. I was scholastically inclined. It came naturally to me. And then at 19 and a half. I'm getting arrested, selling drugs, and then it was kind of like that was it. I took off, and I just followed that path. Part of it was just a longing for. I could see now, anyways. Right at the time, I didn't know this, but it was a longing for to kind of see like what he was into. What type of life was this really like, and maybe I didn't get a $20,000 score on robbing a drug dealer, but I robbed drug dealers. I sold drugs. I did it all. And it took me down a really dark path. Really, it was just a delayed, and it was a delayed addiction. The addiction started at 19, and it took me a while to really realize all I was looking for was an escape. And yeah.
Wow.
The way you're articulating it does show that you've worked on yourself in these past many years, and it's really great.
Oh, but he's been working on himself while he was stoned. That's the funny thing. He kept saying, "I'm going to do good. I'm going to convince everybody I'm not stoned." Right. Yeah. So he got really well versed at it while he was stoned.
Well, you got the verbiage right.
He got it all down. And then so it was like he was practicing. Yeah, he was practicing.
No, you're doing great, man.
He got so bad that, and I, because I know addiction. I've been through it myself, and I've dealt with it, and he calls me up one day, and it's funny because it's sad. He calls me up, and here we go again. Because first of all, most kids don't call their parents unless there's a situation. Okay, let's just call it a situation. And I'm like, oh no, it's my son. If anyone's sitting there, you go, fuck, it's my son. What am I gonna do now? Do I answer it? Do I let it go to voicemail? And I happen to be. I said, let me answer this one because. Last I had heard from was at least 6 months, maybe 8 months, and he don't call. The tools that he asked me for was still sitting 8 months later. Well, anyway, so I pick up the phone. I go, "What's up, son?" He goes, "I need a ride upstate. Blah blah blah. I'm going to this thing. I'm gonna get myself together and get my life back together." I said, "Good luck." I hung the phone up on him. Now I had to go to bed that night, knowing I hung up on my son asking for help.
Well, I hope you didn't sleep, motherfucker.
I slept like a rock. I slept like a log. I did have some dreams, though, of me being in there with them. So it wasn't.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
But that was the best thing I ever did. I'll sit, and believe me, we have a crisis in this country, right? I mean, we can talk about this for a minute.
Yeah.
Fentanyl and all this other shit going on. People are dying every day. And the worst phone call for a parent is to stop. The one that stops the game. Because that could have been the day you saved their life or the day they died.
Yeah.
And it happened to a friend of mine.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, no, I deal with that in my family with addiction too. Yeah, we have a similar situation. Yeah.
Are you okay?
I'm on fentanyl right now.
Oh, is that patch you got?
Yeah, it's a fentanyl patch. No, I mean, that's a fucking dark path because you don't want to, you can't, people that when you deal with addiction, you can't keep feeding the addiction. You can't keep helping them. If you keep helping them, they're never going to be able to stop. They have to want to do it themselves. So I'm sure that was a tough call. I mean, but.
Yeah, I got a funny story. So, I had to clear up my license, right? And when you find yourself in the throes of it, you are somehow your license always gets destroyed. 16 tickets, unpaid, suspended license, the whole bit. So, long story short, I have him. I reach out to him to help me clear up the balance with this lawyer. And the
sure you want to tell us?
So what I did, yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna tell you my side too.
so what I did was I wanted a female lawyer for the first time, so I Googled the most attractive female lawyer in Suffolk County. So and was I wrong? Was I wrong? She was pretty hot. So I do that.
She wasn't as hot as the DA that locked me up in 1992.
I love how that's your credentials. You go,
that was
she
it.
go to law school? No, she's got double D's.
Yeah, that was it. And so he squares up the bill, and I find out there's a remaining maybe $400 or $500, $1,100 that he needs to get back, and sure enough, I needed that money. Trust me. So I download an app on my phone that changes my voice to a female's voice.
Oh my God, you're insane.
And I call the lawyer.
He does all this shit. You think he can have my social media set up? Go ahead.
I'm trying. And
this fucking guy.
So I put the voiceover on. I'm pretending to be my mother, copying an attitude with this lawyer to give, leave the check in the mailbox. My son is coming to get it, right? And what I find out is I do the male to female voice recording to a friend later on just to see how really bad I fucked myself on this. And it just sounded like this distorted underwater, like I'm talking to a professional woman with a law degree. She's probably like, what the fuck is going on here? And I mean, that's where my head was at. Like this is going to work. This is how I'm going to get the money.
Honestly, with AI now, it probably would work.
Now it would.
He should do it now. But I ain't lending him the money first off.
Yeah.
So you never got that money?
I never got that.
I got the phone call.
Yeah.
That's how you earned your chance bagging your hot lawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If she didn't know he was that broke,
that's a double fuck up right there.
Daddy's got to get the money.
Right.
She calls me up and says, Mr. Dowd, yes, your son's trying to come to my office to get the money. You need to get here right away before he comes, so I can't give it to him. Right?
Tom's still trying to work his game. Hey, you give me that money, I'll take you to dinner.
Yeah. And she's
I'll spend it on you.
This is the worst 1,100 I keep.
Yeah.
Ruin her life right with you. Now I'm the right.
Had she given it to me, that's where it would have came to. 100%.
Yeah.
Wow, dude.
What a scene that was too. I went in the office. She was scared to death. She says, I think she was closing her office for the day because she didn't want him showing up at the door. 270 pounds, 6'2", knocking on the door. Where's my money?
Oh, fuck, dude.
Yeah. That's not a good scene. Especially when you need something.
You guys are a movie. Yeah. When did you get out of all that funk? Like, when did you get clean? And
it was 3 years ago, November 7th.
Nice.
Yeah.
Congrats, man.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Thanks.
Listen, I believe in second chances. I believe in forgiveness. I believe in all that.
How about third chances?
Do you need a fourth?
Third time's a charm. Third time's a charm.
What did you work? How'd you get a job out of jail?
I didn't. I've been robbing drug dealers since.
This checks out.
All right, we're gonna end this podcast. Get this motherfucker out of here.
No, it was not easy. First of all, to lead with, take an application, sit down, and then it says, give me your job employment. So basically, since you're high school, most people, not about today, but back when I was a young man, 18 on, you had a job, or at least even 16 or so, you had a job. So I could start off with Mailman Incorporated, 16 to 17 or 16 to 18. I sorted mail in a mail house. After that, I went to the police department. And then after that, prison. And now I need a job.
Well, they had you making furniture in prison. You could have put that on the job history.
Unicor Federal Bureau of Prisons. Yes, but the point is, there's a 24-year gap there. So
I just see a really funny resume and all the other jobs, mailman's in 14 font, and then you have prison and fucking 1.5.
No.
Read the fine.
Mailman Incorporated 16 to 17 will explain the rest. You don't put anything in. What are you gonna do? Police department. Oh, great, you're a police officer. Wow, we got an honest, upstanding citizen here filling out for job. Then it says incarcerated for the next fucking 12 and a half years. It's not an easy application to fill out. So it wasn't easy. I did sort of what Tom was doing with one of my brothers. He had a side business, and my skill level came up a little bit in the construction industry. And then I ended up in a union job and then lost a job because of this documentary that came out. So,
which is going to lead to new jobs.
Which hopefully will
So
turn around.
Let's talk about the fucked up shit. Because
I want to ask, I know you've probably talked about this 100 times, but what's it like being an ex-police officer in prison?
You're not an ex-police officer in prison. To them, you're still a cop. You're still on the job.
All right, so cop in prison.
You're cop in prison.
Surrounded by people that
you walk in, the first day you walk in, they're going, woo, 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 the sirens.
Yeah.
Woo, 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 woo,
so everyone knows immediately.
Yeah, they all know. Yeah. They all know because everybody knows who everybody is.
Right.
It's a small world. And they volunteer to do my laundry. No, it's not an easy gig. It's 1,800 eyes on you, actually times 2. So 3,600 eyes on you all the time because you're the monk. You're the one that. So I'll give you how prison works. You got the blacks, the Spanish, the white. The Spanish guys, they don't give a fuck. They're looking to do their time and make money and go home. The black guys, they're hustlers like motherfucker. They will do anything for money in prison. So, and the white guys usually have money or they're sucking dick. So you have to make a choice. In my case, I'm not that good at sucking dick, but I'm gonna see.
We actually have a clip here. We're gonna show Michael sucking dick.
So I don't. Macy's window on Christmas Eve. We'll see because that's my first job should have been, and I might have anyway. So I had a little bit of money, like I had some money that the feds didn't get, not much. All right. So I could survive for a bit. And then I ended up working in the prison industries. But the difficult thing for a cop in prison is that you're alone, okay? You're not going to get the abuse that you think unless you're really a motherfucker. Like some guys come in there for killing civilians. I was in there for working with drug dealers. So they had a different approach to me overall. I wasn't welcomed, but I wasn't sought at, but I was always the one that you used to introduce yourself to him. So if you wanted to meet somebody, you go, hey, there's a cop on the compound. And then they point at me. I know because the new bus comes in with the new bedrolls. That day, there's 50 new guys and they're all, some guy somewhere wants a new friend because he's burnt out his other friends. And they use me as a talking point. And they still do it today somewhere, some places.
So they didn't try to beat the shit out of you while you're in there?
No. So there was moments, but the moments were more, will you stand up? If you'll stand up, usually guys will just say, okay. And then there's sometimes when I went off, because I'm a little nasty motherfucker, all right? And I'm not that I'm a tough guy. But I'd rather get my ass whooped than run.
I'll arm wrestle you right now, motherfucker.
Well, years ago, you wouldn't have said that. I'll tell you right now. That's a guarantee. I was one of the better, actually, because I was so lean and skinny back then that my arms were very strong. And people thought, the skinny little arm I got. But I was very I was a bay clammer as a kid. If you can pull a rake through the bay and full of clams, you're pretty strong.
So you got I mean, so
So
because a lot of
take it easy there, Junior.
Okay. Fair.
I didn't study jujitsu though, but so if you got one,
did?
I didn't.
Before,
but if you turn my wrist, I might go right down on you.
Again, this guy. Back to the dick sucking clip.
I didn't say that. So you said that. I said go down on you, not on you.
Oh shit, you're nuts.
Y'all are dirty.
He's a pig. Your mother doesn't see this, does she?
No.
Okay, good.
Your mother doesn't see this. Yeah. Wow. So once you got out, you didn't say the job, any specific.
Got out. You're talking to my son now, right?
No.
Oh.
So once you got out, how do you?
He just got out recently. Is what I'm saying.
He got out. Were you in jail?
Yeah, not recently. I mean, I did
just got out of
overnighters and stuff and everything. Yeah.
Bed rolls.
I got out of rehab over 3 years ago.
Well, you just compared to me, you just got out.
Yeah.
See how that? Look at that.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I was in and out of jail. A couple 4 nights, 2 nights, 3 nights.
How come you never got the phone call?
Because mom's boyfriend at the time was all over it. He helped me out. He was always getting me out.
What a nice guy. We have his number. I hope we have his number in case shit goes down today before we get on the fucking plane.
Somebody reliable, Tom. That's what we need.
Stable.
Yeah.
We need a normal
We need a
fucking
stable
guy.
human being around.
Somebody who could trust. I gotta hide my phone around this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you were living in fear your whole life?
Well, me?
Yeah, Mike.
Most things are fear-based, right? And most decisions we make are fear or lack of fear. So there was. I grew up with 7 brothers and sisters, in a family of 7 siblings, and I was number 3. I was the smartest one in the family. Go figure. I was the number 1 kid in the family. So what happens is it puts a lot of pressure on you. So to say fear is different than pressure. So. And not feeling you could meet the expectation is fearful. So like we discussed when I first laid this program out with you, I should have been an accountant. More, I was expected to be more than just a cop, and so there's a lot of inherent fear in that, because if you don't become more, or you don't aspire for more, or maybe you feel inadequate that you can be more. There's some fear involved in that. And so I've dealt with fear throughout my life. In fact, I walked in here, I was very fearful, if you noticed, when I...
Why? How come?
Because I was going to see you, not behind the stage.
Wow. So you were scared that I was going to arm wrestle here? Or what?
You were going to throw down.
I'm the least scariest person on the planet.
Throw down on me.
Oh, I see. Dick sucking jokes. There he is. Mike.
All right, that's a wrap.
You keep saying you had the urethra. You had the urethra thing going on the other day.
My sperm joke.
That was good.
They're all going to see it on TV.
I'm fixated with that.
Hey, I'm going to do that on Tuesday.
The urethra. You keep going like
my
this.
sperm tube. It's got a long sperm tube.
You had the most steady laughs. You and Eric Griffin had the most steady laughs through the whole show.
I appreciate
really cool.
that.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
It was awesome. Yeah.
Yep. Been doing this forever, man. Unfortunately, my career's not there yet, so I probably have to commit some crimes, go to jail, and start my own podcast, see if somebody will make a movie out of
How
it.
it works. That's how it works.
Fuck.
Yeah.
What do you, sorry, you, I keep interrupting. I'm gonna let Tony ask questions because I keep fucking going at you.
Yeah, you're relentless. Give me a second to breathe. Come on. So I have a past with bullying. Were you ever bullied growing up because people knew who your dad was or what had happened? Or I guess lack there of him being around.
Yeah, so my older brother would have probably experienced that more.
Yeah.
I do have a couple instances. I remember my mother working 1,000,000 hours a week when we were young, still doing it. She's in her 60s, still works 80 hours a week. But anyways,
she doesn't want to stay home, but that's not.
Yeah, so she had to rely on a lot of people to watch us. After school, before school, whatever it was. And very, vaguely, I could remember times when she would just get a phone call, break out crying and be like, oh, you're not going to that babysitter's house anymore, and she had found out, or she lost friends over it. So the impact wasn't directly But I remember that it did affect us. But I grew up my whole life telling people my dad was a cocaine trafficker protecting the cartel, and he's in prison. Everyone's like, "Yeah, you're full of shit," you know. Yeah. And then the documentary comes out, and next thing you know, my hit list grew 10 times. You know, everyone was just like, "Wow, he wasn't telling the truth. Come bang me in the bathroom." You know.
See, everybody's been getting laid over my story, but me for the last 35 fucking years. It kills me.
I have a story how he got me laid one time. We're at Bonefish in Bayshore. And his documentary's playing behind the bar. We were doing a day drinking thing on a Sunday.
And you think you'd fucking call me? Go ahead.
I probably hated you at the time. You wouldn't give me money or something. So his documentary's on, and this chick is in there, and it was and she was the hottest one in there
in Bayshore.
Yeah, it was his movie, and the documentary had just come out, and so this girl has my boyfriend's on the way, and then a couple other friends of mine are like, "Oh, look, Tom, your dad's documentary's on there," and this girl didn't know me or anything, so her boyfriend's coming to pick her up, and she goes, "Just come quick, come fuck me in the bathroom really quick." Wow. So yeah. So because of that,
is that when father turned to dad for you? In that
Daddy,
yeah, that's when I realized I can leverage him a little bit. Yeah.
Wow, that's so funny.
He does have redeeming value.
That was the moment. Dad, you wouldn't believe this chick I
I think I got the call. She never would have fucked him. Now he's getting laid.
Wow.
And the boyfriend never figured out.
No. I never saw her again.
There you go.
I don't even remember her name.
Wow, that's better. That's better than a Christmas card for sure.
Are you kidding me? Thank God I don't live that way.
At the Bonefish.
Thank God.
Bonefish.
Thank God I don't live. Do you know? I tell you a story about the Bonefish. Nothing good like yours. I had a meeting there at Internal Affairs from NYPD at the Bonefish. Probably right around the time you got boned in that fucking car.
People get boned at the Bonefish.
The meeting
when I was so when the documentary came out, they reapproached me. So when I first came home, they asked me to help them out with some stuff, and I told them go pound sand. And then after the documentary came out, and I didn't say it like that. I actually was going to help them, but they were trying to screw me, and they always do. And so they ended up screwing me again anyway, but not like you get screwed, for Christ's sakes. So I end up doing a meeting with them at the Bonefish and or at some other fish and helping them, and we came to a decision. But it was at the Bonefish, and so funny story about that. While at the Bonefish, I pull up, and out steps this detective. Lieutenant Detective Internal Affairs, looked like J-Lo. And
I'll tell some secrets. I'll throw people under the bus.
They know they were doing.
And this tall woman, Irish looking girl, but nice, well built, like one of those, like built really powerful chief of Internal Affairs. Holy shit. And some thug, some young thug, steroid juice guy. Like their bodyguard, like so. Mm-hmm. And they were walking in, and who's walking out? I haven't seen this guy since 1992. Now it's 2007. I don't know, 18. I don't know what year it is. And this kid's walking out, and he was a retired cop who I got on the job back. He was my neighbor, who I haven't seen since 92, and who ran to South Florida after I got arrested. Not because he did anything wrong, just because he was my neighbor. He was scared to death. Okay, he runs to South Florida. And I'm watching this transpire. And because he's a buff, like he's one of those cops that really shouldn't have been a cop, okay? He was like a ball licker. Anyway, so he sees this fucking smoke shop, J-Lo. He sees J-Lo walking by, and she's got the badge on over here, and her gun's over here. And he said, no, let me tell you something. If her badge is out, her gun could be out. She's saying, I'm a police officer, and their gun could be exposed. He comes up and goes, officer, your gun's showing. Bitch, shut the fuck up. Well, he just wanted to get some attention. He's a fucking bitch. He wanted him to say, oh, how do you know what the butt of a gun looks like? I mean, he just wanted to get involved, and I'm watching this, and he hasn't spoken to me since 1992, but he got in on my shit that day. I was so pissed off because he really was trying to hit on the chick is what he was doing.
So they were trying to put you back in jail? Was that what the meeting was for? Was they were saying this motherfucker's got to go back?
It's unquestionable that they would like to have, okay?
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
without a doubt. But the meeting was for me to, because the documentary was so successful, like really well done, they wanted to see how I could help them. And I did. I actually had 3 meetings or 4 meetings with them, and 2 of them were filmed, sort of like this, like a podcast. And of course, they would deny it right now. If you called NYPD today and asked them, was Dowd ever helpful to you guys? They'd say, nah, he's a fucking piece of shit. Because they lie. Because when they're moving their lips, they're what?
Lying.
Very good.
So, all right.
Not the NYPD specifically, by the way. Feds definitely, but not the NYPD specifically.
Yeah, fuck, man. There's so much to ask you. It's insane. Like,
You're falling asleep. Who are you fucking kidding?
No, I'm not falling asleep, dude. This is also so different for us because we'll bring on different guests that are, fucking nice people. And then, no, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Fucking, do you see the eye look? I got the Maloik.
I'm out of here.
No, I'm kidding.
Who put this fucking thing together?
No, dude. There's obviously so many like things that. I mean, I already know, I already know a lot of it. So, but a lot of the people that are listening to or watching, they're not going to know.
There must be 3-4 million people on the end of this.
We have about 8 million followers.
Yeah, right.
So you're going to get hit up. Austin Butler follows our podcast.
He's a nice kid, by the way.
Yeah?
Yeah,
That's cool.
he actually was very nice because I break him right down. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Was he still talking like Elvis?
Yes, he was. He was. I was getting a little annoyed.
Were you?
Yeah, but I don't really know Elvis as well as I know him. But I was getting a little annoyed with him because I like, dude, you're supposed to copy me now. If you want to be me.
Was he really still talking like Elvis?
Yeah, you can't get away from it. So he says, I don't know if I should say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. He says to me, my girl, who's some heiress, I can't get it. I get heir, not heiress. Anyway, he's got some heiress to his girlfriend. And he says to me, I dealt with Elvis for a year. She said, there's no fucking way I can deal with Michael Dowd for a year.
Hilarious.
And I said to him, hang on, motherfucker, it's going to be a blast. He goes, yeah.
Oh, that's funny. That's crazy, man.
He goes, yeah.
Wow. Your story is interesting, obviously.
I mean, I got 2 kids that still love me.
There you go.
They say they do.
As far as you're aware.
Well, Christmas is coming.
Ask
When
Tom.
they check their Zelle today.
Tom just rolled his eyes to the back
When
of
they
his head.
check their Zelle today, we'll see how much they love me.
I love him today.
It's different every day. Depends on what side of the bed you wake up on.
Yeah.
What was the moment that you felt like I know it's different for your other brother.
I guess, when you pass that threshold of like...
Yeah, that's going to be hard to pinpoint. It's just a collective of a lot. I needed to help myself before I could love anyone else. And that's the truth,
you could say the bonefish moment.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Or the bonefish
for a
moment.
minute.
Yeah.
A quick shot, you love
There
me.
you go. That gave you some points. I mean, come on.
I always loved him, right? I did. I just...
You didn't know me.
I didn't know him, and he was my scapegoat, and it worked. It just worked. I just worked it.
You said you always loved him. Did you love him because you thought you should be loving him, or was it genuine?
Younger, he's my father. I should love him. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And then we've always gotten along. Even like while he's coming to, one of the stories I told before, while he's coming to bail me out, like we're still laughing in the car the whole time while he wants to kill me. It was our dynamic was always there because again we're a lot alike, and even at times when I do want to just tell him to shut the fuck up, you're talking too much, your story made no sense, I take the back seat and I have the respect for him as my father and my dad.
Does that.
Yeah.
I told him one day in one of the rehabs I was in, I said to him, son, I'm going to get you a car. I'm going to get you the shittiest fucking car in the world, but I'm going to get you a car. He's like, and there's people across the Spanish family watching me talk to him, and they're cracking up.
Well, I never actually told you that. So I did a
here we go
17 days in a rehab, and then I did a treatment center, long-term treatment center, upstate New York. St. Christopher's saved my life, and I end up spending over, 65 days with the same person that was in that seat. And just every day he would remind me, like, you're getting out of this with a fucking car. And like, what are you doing? I mean, just to show I was in a bad spot, but some of these people were getting out with the clothes on their back.
He stayed with you?
Yeah, he did.
I said, you get a car, a shitty car,
Yeah.
a real shitty car.
Wow.
Believe me, when I already had it picked out because my brother had it. And I started paying. In fact, I bought the fucking car and he sold it because you never came and picked it up.
I was gonna say, did you ever get the car?
No, I'm still waiting for it.
He never picked it up. Well,
Go get rich
you
and
ain't
buy him
waiting
a
for
car.
it now, motherfucker.
No.
After this Austin Butler movie, you'll get him a car.
Tom, were you ever scared? Because being associated with all that, did it ever scare you? Did you ever worry about backlash? Like, did you ever worry about, even to you today? The question to you is,
You asking him this question?
I'm going to ask you both because there's.
Let him go first. I'm tired.
There's drink your water.
Yeah, take a break.
Fucking this guy's megaphone money. So I mean, obviously for you, you probably, you're younger, so it was distant for you. Your brother might have felt a little bit more, but did you ever worry about the backlash? These bad people coming at the family, and then did you? When I don't know if you had to.
I'll wait for him to answer his.
Yeah,
because I talk too much.
No, okay, we'll start with you.
No.
Okay.
No.
Did your brother?
Not that we're not fearful people.
Yeah.
I've never been, and I'm not trying to sound like a tough guy. There, plenty of people could kick my ass, or at least try to, but I just was never afraid. I was never afraid, and maybe that's part of the reason why I got into so much trouble. Right. I always found a way around it, but no, nothing was done out of fear. I don't mean to say that entirely, but the answer to your question is no. I was never afraid.
You never afraid someone was going to come after you?
Never.
For the things that you've done, or
no. I knew I was always going to be able to.
Well, you
handle
did
it.
come after me with a shotgun at one time.
Yeah, well, that's different.
That's different.
That's what sons do. That's what sons do.
That's normal.
That's normal.
That's what sons
That's
do.
right. Now I remember.
He's your son.
Do you want to get into
Remember?
that story?
I gotta no, but I should go get.
Should we get into that
That's
story?
a different story. No, that'll get.
He's your kid. Are you surprised that happened?
Yeah.
No, come on.
No, but I owe my father a shotgun treatment, though. That's for sure.
There you go.
It worked. I had an envelope full of money outside my uncle's house.
Jesus Christ.
It worked. He did. He pulled it off. I said, I got to get out of here. Take this money and give it to him.
Wow. Fuck, man.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That was a good one.
But for you,
He got paid.
It works. Got
Mike, for
results.
you though, you were like, were you ever worried about people come back after you?
So listen. So that's a fair question. That's not, but it's a unrealistic. It's unbelievably or unrealistic that I'm not, but I've never had a fear like that. The one fear, and it wasn't a fear, it was a challenge, was like, if you remember the documentary, I don't know if you remember, they put a hit on me, and then I went after them. Because I wasn't going to wait for the hit to come through. I mean, are you fucking kidding me? So then I went after them and closed their business down, and I paid cops to watch their business for me. And then they called me up and said, we got your money.
This was the Cartel?
One of them, a different one. There was two. There was La Compañía, and then there was the Diaz. Yeah.
But when you went to prison, they were trying to get stuff out of you.
Meaning inmates?
No, not the inmates. But when they put you in, did you get a deal to get out a little earlier? Like,
There was
did
no
they
deal
try?
from that Michael Dowd. There was no deal. What I did was, so I walked in facing life. And a lot of people, when you're in a drug case, you face life when you walk in with the feds. So generally, it's 10 to life. And so how it worked out for me was, the federal government goes by a parameter of guidelines. Okay, I don't want to get into the whole thing, but bottom line is their first plea offer, they call it a plea offer. They don't say a deal. It's not called a deal. It's a plea offer or plea agreement. It was for 34 years. So I said, what the fuck did I do? I said, I took some money from drug dealers. Even Howard Stern agreed it wasn't such a big deal. Anyway, so I had him in my corner. And then I ended up telling him I'm going to trial. I fronted the whole time. I'm going to trial. And I'm going to call 347 police officers that worked with me. And then you're going to call the 2 that got arrested and pled guilty, that are willing to cooperate against me, and about a dozen drug dealers. So the 347 police officers are going to say, I worked with him and never saw him take anything. Mm-hmm. And then you're going to have these people that are all trying to get out of prison because they saw my name in the fucking newspaper, and they're all going to make a deal with you. So, and so my lawyer's like, "Is that what you want me to tell them?" I said, "That's what you tell them." So then they came back and they offered me another plea, 11 to 17. And then I said, 17, fuck you. And he goes, "Look at the 17, not the 11. So I said, "I'm not doing 17. Let's go to trial."
Wow.
Scared to death. And then, so then they accused me of 9 murders. And then at that point, it was all over the news. I did 9 murders. So I'm like, wait a minute. I didn't even put people's hair out of place, but I got 9 murders now facing. So the Mullen Commission, which is the commission that they sort of base the reason to do the documentary on, they came to speak to me. And I told them twice to go fuck themselves. Go pound sand is the proper word. Go pound sand. I said that twice, but I didn't use the sand pounding back then. I told them, go fuck yourselves. And because they wanted me to give up cops. And I said, I'm not giving them up. People are going to kill themselves, and these are human beings. And you know what they said? We don't give a fuck. And I said, well, that's not how I roll. And they left. And then after the 9 murders they put on my back, I said, all right, what do you want? Basically. So what I did was I was willing to show them how to catch me. I said, I don't know what you guys want, because I can't help you. I'm not going to testify against cops. They said, no, we understand that. We get it. But I said, so this is what I said to them. The only thing I can teach you, only thing I can do for you is teach you how to catch me. Is that a deal? They said,
but they didn't want to have you catch Cartel or Mafia
they don't give a shit.
They wanted to catch the cops?
Just the cops. Yeah. Which is fine.
But you were taking the money from the Mafia and the Cartel to let them
they don't
go.
Care. They don't,
right? That's basically what it was. It was, hey, give me your dirty money and I'll let it slide.
They wanted to get the cops, which I don't blame them. They wanted to get the cops. Yeah. That was their job.
You'd think they'd want both too.
No.
Wow.
Not enough room.
Jesus. What'd you do with all that drug cartel mafia money?
Look at my kids, how they're living.
Oh, yeah.
It dries up pretty quick when you live that kind of life I was living,
Yeah.
4 homes, condo on the ocean, that's traveling. I had just gotten back from the Cayman Islands when they pinched me, so that was a $5,000 nut right there, So, yeah.
Question is, if you had to do it all over again, would you?
Yes.
Don't say
my question.
Of course I would not.
Say, what would you do differently?
Yeah, that was obviously the joke.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, would you do it all over again?
Hey, wait till I got a little older. We could do it together.
Yeah. I need a real partner this time, not a rat, motherfucker.
No, but his question is the real
snitch
one.
Is that how you got caught up?
No. Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Bottom line, he so his phone was tapped and he didn't know it. Set the trap for everybody else to fall into. Then we get out on bail, and then he puts a wire on. So, and people don't know that from the documentary. They think he's actually still working with me, but he's retired already with a 3/4 disability pension that I got him. I set him up for a pension, got rid of him. My uncle ran the pension section.
So how'd you do it different?
I get myself a pension first.
Jesus.
No, so listen. So people who are out there, I'm a funny motherfucker. I like to have a good time and laugh at myself.
Yeah, of course.
But I actually dream and have dreamt for, I don't know how many years it is now, I'm getting old, 15, 20, 30 years, about being a good cop. That would be my dreams. I dreamt about being a cop, but half the time I'm either naked or the gun's missing and the bullets fall. Or when you fire, it's just horrible. I hate those naked dreams in the store, online naked. Why? You're a fucking comedian.
I don't know. I don't have naked dreams, Mike. That one's on you, buddy. No, I'm kidding.
There's someone out there in Dream World that knows what that means.
No, totally. I think there's something to that. It's a shame thing, I feel like.
Yeah, like self-humility or something like that.
I'm humble.
Yeah.
What?
I think I just had a stroke.
Actually, I am very humble, but outwardly, I'm a funny guy.
No, look, we wouldn't have had you on.
Deflect.
We wouldn't have had you on if you, you're changed.
I beg people, don't ask me for money, please. When I walk by them on the street.
You're changed.
The last guy got a 20 out of me. I'm like, you motherfucker.
If you want to do something good for the world, Mike, what would it be? If you could do good now.
So that's a fair question. And so can I speak of another podcast? So I was on Soft One.
Yeah, of course.
I was on Soft One Underbelly, and And I have a relationship, not an intimate one, but nice, a friendship with Mark from Suffolk later. And he actually asked me that, I think that at the end of the interview. And I said, well, I would think there should be more love in the world. And that's for real. Like, that's just it. Like, you know, you can get into Bibles and all that stuff, but the bottom line is love. You know, more love, more harmony, more understanding. Like, give a guy a chance or a girl. Listen to them. Show some love. What
about you, though? How do you feel if you could be good? If you could show love,
I'm good.
No, I'm saying you are good. Sorry. If you could do it all over, right, and be good and whatever, you can't take back what you did.
No. So that's the first thing.
But now, how would you show the love? You know, obviously, you know, you could spread the word.
I do show some love, I think. And
yeah.
People can tell you do or you don't because they're all haters out there. But the fact is, I go out of my way quite often to be more considerate, more kind. I take my time with people when I have the time. I don't let them intrude into my life, but I give a lot. And my kids will tell you I'm busy all the time with other people, helping them, listening to them, talking to them. I do police. So I don't just do police. I speak at colleges. I speak at police gatherings, to try to, and I get a salary for some of it. So I'm not going to, it's not all free. Because if they're paying someone else, they can pay me too. So, but I volunteer to speak and I like sharing my story, but not because I like to talk about myself, which some people do. I mean, there's nothing wrong about talking about yourself. It's cathartic. But the reality is, I like to use myself as an example for other people to improve their life so that they don't have to go through the same things that I did.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. That's what we're looking for.
To bounce your question to you, growing up, having done what you've done, knowing what you know, how would you have treated your relationship with your dad different?
If
different.
For the parts of my life where I ended up getting to know him and then moving forward, I don't know. We have a pretty damn good relationship. We do. I wanted to hate him. I couldn't. And then every time we got together, I don't know. I'm sorry to answer the question so poorly, but we just had a good relationship, regardless of the times I took advantage of him or the times he felt guilty for the positions I've gotten myself into, whatever the negative emotions were between the two of us. We always had a good relationship.
That's not a poor answer. It's a great answer. It shows the familial bond.
Yeah.
Yeah. The family bond is everything. I mean, really, you share the same blood.
Well, one of the good things that we haven't included in this conversation is my parents. I would imagine they were significant, in keeping a connection, even though they both hated me when I was away, especially the older one. I mean, I would send them pictures of me all jacked up and working out. He'd put them under the bed and step on them and grind them into the ground and shit like that. But I'm not fucking with him right now. But the reality is, my parents did a decent job, and my parents were not of great means. So everything they did was very difficult on them. I mean, they wouldn't even bail me out right now if I got pinched.
Yeah.
That's not true. They would, but my mother would oh boy, she'd be shaking more than she's shaking now. But the reality is my parents really were very helpful in keeping it together.
Yeah.
And I think, they don't get enough credit for it, really, to be honest with you at times, but I know what they did. So, I'm like this with my parents too. I'm funny with them. I make them laugh. I make fun of them and they make fun of me. And, as soon as I walk in the house, my mother says to me, "Did you get a job?" "Mom, I'm 63 soon. I'm done." "Michael, you need to get a job or get married or something." She never shook. She said, "Well, you had me when you were fucking 18, Mom. I mean, you've been shaking for fucking 40, 50, 70 years.
We'll wrap it up. We asked our outro question we always ask, basically this, you brought your son. What do you guys love about each other the most? Also, you could make this a blanket statement for both your kids, but what do you love about your kids the most? And then what do you love about your dad now?
I love that they gave me a chance. They gave me a chance.
And I love that he's trying.
There you go.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Could you guys have shorter answers? We would really appreciate it.
Short and sweet.
Short and sweet.
No, it's the,
That was perfect.
They're great. They're great. Man. They're great.
I,
They're pricks, but they're great.
yeah.
they're your pricks.
They give you a chance,
They're
and
your
he's trying.
pricks.
No, that's all that matters, man. I love that, and I really do. I'm glad you turned around, both of you guys.
Yeah.
I want you both to be successful and happy, and I wish you guys both the best, man.
Yeah.
I really do. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Want to plug anything? You guys want to plug anything?
That camera's your guys'
Camera right here.
Social media, the Mike Dowd, somewhere, someplace. Find me.
The
Shout
Vital
out.
Fringe, the next podcast with Mike Dowd.
There you go.
Like I heard I'm going to be on a podcast with my son soon, so we'll see what happens. What else you got going on back there?
We want to
the
hear.
book. Oh, we're putting a book together. It should actually be coming out soon.
Books. Okay.
Yeah, we're doing a lot of. So my son, one of my brilliant sons, the other one, he has a whole stack of my writings, which I didn't realize how well I wrote. I really write pretty freaking good. So hopefully it'll be out and ready soon. I'm hoping for Christmas. Probably not, but close.
That's awesome.
Close.
That's awesome, man. Well, congratulations.
It's probably going to be called the 7-5. I think we're still going over the name. We may
Yeah.
just take the 7-5 because no one owns it. It's a name. It's a number.
Yeah.
It's a
Which,
word.
by the way, was the precinct. Right.
Yeah.
Just so they know. But I wish you guys the best. Congrats.
Yes.
Thank you guys for coming on, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thanks for
it.
having us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep coming in. Keep watching.
Nah, forget-
My+One.